You're watching the Brother Henry and You Show.
Engaging. Informative. Inspirational.
Enjoy today's program.
Hello everyone, this is Henry Harris. We've been talking about the art of forgiveness. And today we're going to go into part 3 of the art of forgiveness, and I appreciate you guys for watching. Hope you've been learning something. Today I want to talk about something that's very popular. It's something that's very common. It's something that we've all heard, and that is forgive and forget. You know, many of us have heard that when somebody has hurt us, betrayed us in some way. We're often told, you know, just forgive, forget, move on. But how many know that that's not easy for everyone? So I just want to come to you today just to talk about that, because I really believe it needs to be discussed. And forgive and forget, it does sound powerful. It sounds like some great advice, but it is quite misleading. How many know that? I believe that there's a better way or a better perspective of looking at this. So I want to come and just share my approach with you on how I feel about forgive and forget. Someone once said, we've all suffered in life. How many of us can relate to that? All of us have suffered in life. It's true. But the thought of forgiving about the wrongs I face seems to be offensive to me. Have you ever felt that way before? How does one forget? I mean, many of us already struggle with forgiveness as it is, but how does one bring themselves to a place of just totally erasing the wrongs and the offenses that one has encountered? I've found out, not only in the lives of other people, but even in my own life, sometimes that is a bit of a struggle. That not only is it just as hard to forgive, sometimes it can be as hard to forget. Here's my take on it. Of course, most of us, we don't forget. As a human being, we remember the hurts that we've experienced. Many would argue you can't fully forgive someone until you forget. Many would say choosing not to forget means lack of forgiveness or holding on to the offenses, which none of that I really agree with. Because just because a person chooses not to forget doesn't necessarily mean that they're carrying unforgiveness in their hearts. Choosing to remember the hurts that somebody has caused towards you, or maybe some hurts you've caused for yourself, is actually for your benefit and not the offender. The truth is, just because a person chooses not to forget doesn't make them bitter. It actually makes them better. Choosing not to forget helps us all, no matter who you are, not to fall back into the same trap that we came out of. Now, many people won't be honest, but I will. There's been some things I've done in my life, situations I put myself in, that I choose to remember. I'm not bitter. I'm not carrying unforgiveness in my heart. I just choose to remember for my own benefit, because I don't want to go back there again. And that's why I think it's impossible to forgive and forget, because let's just say, even if you did believe in the concept of forgive and forget, let's say you ran into that person. Let's say you ran into that person on the street or whatever, the one who has hurt you or offended you. I don't care who you are, the very thought of what they did to you will cross your mind. And this message, I feel, is imperative just for you, because you're trying to forgive, forget, and you need to bring yourself to just completely forgiving and just moving on. So let's face it, how is that even possible to forget? And oftentimes I ask people, how is that really working for you? Totally forgetting what somebody has done to you. How is that working for you? What brought you to that place of fully forgetting what someone has done? Now, I'm not by any means encouraging you to hold on to the memory of hurt and the things that people have done towards you. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is I think many of us should have matured by now. Many of us should have grown by now. Many of us are at a place now where we can just move on past the hurts and the things that people have done towards us. So there's something I want you to think about just for a second. Whether we believe it or not, it's impossible to forget. Even if it's a person we can physically see who has harmed us, as I said earlier, the thought of what they did to you will always cross your mind. They lied on me, they cheated on me, they manipulated me, they betrayed me. Those thoughts will always come in your mind, the people who have hurt you the most. People who subscribe to the belief of forgive and forget, it's very possible that they haven't really forgiven, because by the act of forgetting, it is evident that they haven't fully processed the wrong that they have done themselves. Forgive and forgetting will never lead to real forgiveness. As long as you subscribe or hold on to that belief of forgetting and forgiving, that will never produce authentic forgiveness in your life. When someone has wronged you, moving on can be a process, and I get that. As I've said in other broadcasts, it doesn't happen overnight. Sometimes it can be emotionally draining. And there are so many emotions involved when it comes to carrying unforgiveness. There are so many emotions involved. Henry, you don't realize what they've done to me. They've hurt me. They've lied on me. They've talked about me. I do understand that. I've had that happen to me. And when somebody is hurt, it really messes you up. When somebody hurts you, it really does something to you emotionally. I want you to know that I do understand that. I think one thing many people need to understand is, and I want you to pay attention to this, forgiveness does not entail pretending that the offenses never occurred. And I think for many people, they do that. We should never pretend or act like it never happened. What you went through was a real hurt. What you went through was a real experience. Never pretend like it never happened. And forgiving is not the same as forgetting. That's something that you need to know as well. And to suggest to other people that they are the same is quite misleading, because they're not the same. So never pretend like it never happened. It did happen. But you know what? What you went through made you better, not bitter. We don't forgive and forget. We just forgive. We don't forgive and forget and pretend like it never happened. We just forgive. We don't forgive and act like the hurt is non-existent. We just choose to forgive. And that's what I want you to understand today. I choose to forgive. How many know that God's not going to force you to forgive someone? You have to bring yourself to a place of saying, I'm tired of carrying this weight of unforgiveness in my heart. I choose to forgive. No matter how deep the wound is, no matter how it messed up your emotions, I choose to forgive. I'm doing this for me, not nobody else. I'm doing this for me. This is for my freedom, not nobody else's freedom. I choose to move on. You have to say that to yourself today. I choose to do this. And I totally get it. It's a real big deal to be able to forgive someone and have the courage to move on. But what I want to let you know as I go to a close, never live in a what-if mindset. Well, Brother Henry, what is a what-if mindset? I'm glad you asked. Let me explain it to you right quick. A what-if mindset is someone who is basically living their life walking on eggshells. You live your life based on your past hurts, your past experiences, And my friend, this is not a healthy place where God wants you to be. Because until you deal with the hurt, and this is important, the chances of you hurting somebody else are very high, very risky. We see this happening all the time in relationships. People go from relationship to relationship. People who go from friendship to friendship, they haven't dealt with their hurt. So therefore, if they hadn't dealt with it, they themselves will start hurting other people. And listen to this part. Another thing they don't realize is some people end up hurting people, and the people that are hurting other people don't even realize that they're hurting other people. You know why? Because they haven't dealt with the hurt that they have experienced themselves. You have to deal with the inner hurt in your own heart. You have to. It's important. There's a phrase that says, hurt people hurt people. Have you heard that before? I've heard it. But I believe that heal people heal people. So that is common and that is normal, that a person that's hurting, they tend to hurt other people. They live in a what if mindset. What if he does this to me? What my ex-husband did to me? What if that person violates my trust in a friendship that Johnny did or Sally did? You start looking at everybody through the lens of your past experiences and your past hurts. And you will never have a fruitful and bountiful relationship, whether that's marriage, relationship, friendships with anybody, until you deal with that hurt. That's how serious it is. That's how serious it is. What if it happened to me? What if I get hurt again? You cannot be bombarded by those thoughts. And while these are great questions, we must eventually bring ourselves to a place of fully and totally moving on. And that's why I'm doing this series, because that's what you need to do. Move on. It's a choice. My friend, it's something that you have to do. Nobody can do this for you.
Hi, my name's Heather. Thank you for watching the Brother Henry and You show today. If you've enjoyed the show today, visit us at facebook.com/The Brother Henry and You show. Thank you for watching and have a blessed day.